you got to admit that it's kind of interesting that the entire Irish political landscape has changed overnight. I mean, you got to admit it. Because 200,000 people spoiled their votes, all enemies of the state. And now the state are doing everything they can to give them, dishing out rim jobs one by one on these far-right fascists. It's been interpreted by the political establishment as there are 200,000 people here who went to the effort to go to the polling booth to achieve nothing on the face of it. You know what I mean? You understand how significant that is as opposed to actually voting for a candidate. They actively made an effort, took time out of their day to achieve nothing. But enough of them did it so that now it's been interpreted by the political establishment that, oh, well, these people are anti-immigration. Let's be anti-immigration too. And I'm going to show you all the clips and stuff. I mean, there's so many clips of what mainstream Irish political parties said before the presidential election versus what they said after the presidential election, and it's night and day. And so I suppose I'll start. I mean, immigration has been one of these things where it's kind of not just an issue, it's like super loaded topic. Because if you say the wrong thing about it, you're a racist and whatever. And I put also the trans thing in that category, and I'd put also, there's a few issues here that you put in that maybe category as being red hot and there being a lot of fear around them. And so, yeah, I mean, let's get into it. This is incredible. I mean, this is just absolutely mind-blowing. It's incredible. It feels kind of like the Berlin Wall has fallen and everybody's just in West Germany and they're going oh shit, what do we do now? And the way they tried to kind of frame this initially after the presidential election was, this is a landslide victory for the left wing because Catherine Connolly won in a landslide victory, which she did. But if it's such a landslide victory for the left wing, why are all the political parties adapting by becoming more right wing?
61% of those coming into the country have no documentation, and they're an immediate cost to the state. They're coming from countries that would be regarded as quite safe. And people are very, very worried or angry or annoyed that kind of money is being spent when it could have been spent helping Irish people if you had the will to do it before the war in the Ukraine.
But what would you do?
What would I do?
No, so I'm just,
I would close the borders.
That's shocking.
Why?
Have you any humanity?
I mean, no, it's not about that. It's about people saying at this stage that we cannot do any more.
Neil, what I'm trying to say to you is we have to have some degree of humanity.
No, Leo Varadkar has said that we should pretty much stop and send money instead.
Sorry, I think in the immediate aftermath of that war, people had to leave certain localities because of the brutality of the war.
Yeah,
I went to Busha. What are you talking about? I mean, the point is,
they're the election promises.
I'm not going to. We're having a robust debate here, but I'm not going to sit and take narratives.
Geez, there's a lot of, I think, guilt tripping there, which is emotionally abusive. And then there's a lot of smugness, honestly. Now, you think fair enough. If that is somebody's point of view, I don't give a shit what anybody's point of view is on almost anything. There's a couple of things where you can't think of, but whatever. You got to ride and die by your views. But here we have now 2 days ago. Taoiseach Micheál Martin has said that up to 80% of IPAS applicants in Ireland aren't genuine asylum seekers, and said the government could ship failed asylum seekers off to deportation hubs outside of the EU. Ship them off? Is that not Trump-style rhetoric? There's been a lot of hassle about these small communities and I suppose IPAS centres being built in them or hotels holding asylum seekers, And so this has been Mary Lou MacDonald's traditional viewpoint on it.
But it's not a consultation if you can't say no either, is it? Well, in the planning process, everybody's consulted. You can make your observation. Nobody has a veto.
None of us have a veto. None of us have a veto.
Or things that
But
they can't say no. But you don't get a veto, no? And
Fair enough again. That's what you think. Fair enough. Now what am I saying? Sinn Féin's fucking Twitter. Simon Harris must take responsibility for chaos in international protection system and failures to enforce deportations. Sinn Féin.
it should be of no surprise to anybody that there is angst on the issue of immigration. The government, Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael, have made an absolute mess of it. Our system is broken. The decisions are too slow. We have a rule book that is not fully implemented. And public confidence is broken on the issue. That needs to get fixed. And to add to all of that, certain individuals have become millionaires on the back of all of this.
I mean, that is incredible. And this was the first person to open the floodgates on this issue to broaden the Overton window. Not that I'm complimenting this, was Simon Harris. Let's look at this.
Our migration numbers are too high. And I think that is really an issue that needs to be considered in a very serious way by government. I think one of the reasons they're so high is that there are too many people who come to this country and who are told they do not have a right to be here. And it is taking too long for them to be removed from the country. But I think we have to be honest. I think we have to listen to the people of this country who have said, who I believe are saying to us, look, we used to live in a country where around 3,000 people sought international protection each year. That number has gone to in and around 20,000, sometimes a little above it, sometimes a little below it. That is a very, very significant increase, and it is too high.
Incredible. We need to listen to Irish people on the issue. But I thought everybody was equal. So why can't we listen to every single person in the world on the issue? It's interesting the way he has all these facts to hand straight away. So he's known this information for a long time, it feels like, very well informed. But certainly his tune has changed in this regard.
The Taoiseach, maybe he's trying to go down the Nigel Farage route. We see how that's working out for Keir Starmer. If the average punter on the street said that, you would have to say, fair enough, there does seem to be a huge amount of challenges in our system. But this is the second authority of the state, the Taoiseach, at a time when we need calm heads, we need leadership, we need fact-based argument, and he's effectively just speaking as if he's a commentator rather than someone who's supposed to legislate. So, I mean, what he could have also said was our numbers this year have also, up to July period, have decreased by 40% on last year. He could have talked about the absolute failures in our system that he's presided over for 10 years and how he was going to address them. There is absolutely lags within the system. People are being caught up within that for years. But that's a failure of management. We have a management crisis in this country, and Simon Harris is very much to the fore of responsibility for that.
What do you think about the timing of these comments coming in the aftermath of the violent protests we saw at City West last week?
I mean, coming in the aftermath of the violent protests, I think these comments have the potential to be inflammatory. They don't add anything substantial to the debate. They don't talk about the fact that there are people here who have contributed hugely to our country. They don't talk about how we're going to address the silos in the system. And it's not only in relation to the violent incidents outside City West, it's also a person struggling for relevancy following what happened in the presidential election last week. And I just think he needs to be a hell of a lot more careful than what he's been.
Interestingly, first of all, fair play to Gary Gannon here from the Social Democrats. That's what he thinks. That's what he thinks. I've no problem. I really have no problem with that. And he brings up a great point. These comments could be inflammatory. What happened in Dundalk after those comments? Somebody threw a firework into an iPad centre and fucking big fire, and loads of people are now homeless because of it. So are these politicians not likely now to be jailed for hate speech because they incited violence on... Do you understand? Like, there does seem to be a rule for thee and not for me environment in Ireland. And I don't like feeling like I need permission to think or speak. And the political establishment have now given you permission to sort of see immigration as an issue that can be discussed in a broader way than it has been. So it's sort of a bit annoying. Now, the other side of it is maybe you could say this is democracy in action. And the other side of it is that maybe you could say that, obviously we get the government we vote for and you get what you deserve in life. And I think this is what we deserve. It's like people will forgive and forget because of this, in a sense, like Look at Fine Gael, Brussels. Ireland continues to benefit from immigration. However, as Simon Harris TD says, our migration numbers are too high. There are many people who are told they do not have a right to be here, and it is taking them too long for them to leave the country. Our asylum system needs reform. It's incredible. The U-turn, there's no integrity in it at all. And, you know, politics is basically a popularity contest. So I don't know how you could live that way personally. But yeah, listen, what I'm trying to say is, if the truth was popular, that's what they'd say. They'd tell the truth. The truth is unpopular. You can't win votes with the truth, so you have to tell lies. And in that sense, it's not their fault. It's the fault of every individual. So anyway, just thought it was totally interesting. A lot of people said that spoiling your vote was undemocratic. I didn't spoil my vote. I didn't vote at all. It's not undemocratic. And then a lot of people said it was a waste of time. It's not been a waste of time. It's completely changed Irish politics just forever, like, you know, potentially. So it's just it's been an incredible success for what's been called the far right. So...
We will afford that to people.
So are you fully supportive then of the government's policy of not limiting numbers of Ukrainians coming to this country?
You can't limit numbers.